Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to Anfield Road TV post-match reaction. Oh, Lord, 24 hours. I'm only doing, especially the way we're playing. I like to sit and stew, and I've watched the game back again. Don't ask why, but I wanted to. And joined by two very special guests. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for jumping on. I know you just don't want to do a post-match reaction. But Spider, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No problem, Jack.
Just,
Cheers, bud.
yeah,
Yeah, thanks
I
very
think
much.
in a bit of that. But yeah, Connor as well. Thank you very much, and chat as well. If you are new around here, hit that subscribe button down below, and obviously get to Rob's comments firstly, and most importantly, as well. If you got any questions or anything that you want to post to people in the chat, we will be discussing. There's going to be a lot of talk anyway. We're going to be criticising, quite rightly so, the performance as well, and where we can go off the back of this performance and what needs to happen. But we'd be here for like a whole week, really. But if we miss something, then let us know anyway, and we probably will do a couple of shows throughout the week as well. Let's get to Rob's comments as well. I'll support the lads no matter what. What I don't want to do is buy into the delusion that all things are fine. Either FSG are lying to Klopp or Klopp is lying to us. Stevie Wonder could see 2 months ago that we needed bodies as well. 100% there, Robin. Probably will just speak about this. It's not even 2 months ago, Rob, was it? And chat, Liverpool, we've known this midfield. I think Thiago's been the only midfielder that we signed in the space of, 3-4 seasons. It's frankly not good enough, especially considering the age range of our midfield. When we signed Thiago, 1 out of the last 8 seasons, as we spoke about on the live stream watch along, everyone knew exactly what they were buying into with Thiago. It's a matter of how good and how well we could keep him fully fit. But how are you doing, Doug, as well? Good afternoon, lads. Thank you very much, Doug, for tuning in. Simon, obviously, congratulations, mate, as well. And obviously, happy anniversary. Well, getting married very soon. Absolute legends. But I know we will bounce back, but up the mighty Reds. Let's get behind the Reds and stick by them as well. You never walk alone, as 100%. And that's why I've titled, obviously, and people will be clicking on the video going, oh, we will be criticising the players, but what the players need now and what they need going into Bournemouth in the couple of weeks to come and months, if these results do continue, they don't need us. Yes, we can criticise players, but in reality, they need our backing. Every single one of them, the technical staff, everyone within Liverpool Football Club needs our backing. And the results will come good again. And then everything will be rosy. But I think everyone loves a negative story when Liverpool. We've been very lucky and fortunate, Connor, in recent years that Liverpool haven't lost games of football.
Yeah, I know it's weird, isn't it? Do you know what? Just even from last night, and like we all know the problems with Liverpool, and just listening to Allison speak, listening to I think Jordan Henderson spoke last night as well about Liverpool's problems, and we all know the problems. It's just now how we fix them, and either that's whether or not that's getting bodies in the door. I think that's one way to look at it. I do think there is a more inside job to be looking at. Like I think that this Liverpool side has been together for the last 5-6 years, the majority of the team together, and something is wrong tactically. Whether or not that's the high line and so on. I've seen plenty of people mention other things and different ways we can get around it. But it's like you said, mate. At the end of the day, it's been the worst start under Jurgen Klopp since he's been at the club. But it's now how do we get out of that and how we become probably better from it as well. And like you look at it last season, like in around November, December time, we had the worst run of the season. We then went on and got 50 points up 54. That we know Liverpool can do that. It's just at the moment, we've spoken about it plenty of time. We don't know, psychologically, we've all spoken about mentality monsters, how this side has been, mentally the best team in the league over the last couple of seasons.
That absolutely drained, mate. We all watched that last night, and yes, he didn't perform, but when you're getting outrun outrun by a Man United
Manchester
side
United.
that has been absolute dire. And as you said, Connor, I've seen a lot of people on their shows as well, quite rightly so. They did bring up there was a sharp flying round last night in terms of spied two of the obviously starting 11. Obviously, didn't start. I think it was a couple of years ago, but Liverpool have literally went with 9 out of the 11 for like the best part of 3-4 seasons, or probably more than that.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't change a good thing while it's working. That's just the way it was for us for a couple of seasons. But you're right. We do look very drained. We look very tired. I think there's still a hangover from the whole quadruple season. I think the disappointment of the Champions League final and all that. As fans, we try to get on with it and get over it, but it's always waning in those guys' heads. It's happened to them twice now, so they feel a little deflated, I think, and they feel like you could feel the weight of the expectation on some of their shoulders now. And they are mentality monsters, but they're just there's only so much that these lads can take before they just kind of drop the head a bit. In saying that, I know we need midfielders, I know, but as Connor said, getting the 50 out of 54 points last season goes to show you that the team is still good enough to compete. But it does need topping up. It's the fact that we got rid of the likes of our Sturridges and our Lalanas and people that had
Ginny. I know everyone goes, stop mentioning Ginny. Yeah. But the one aspect of Ginny, he was never injured. I know he was injured this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a massive rotation. He'd always give you 6, 7 out of 10 every single game.
Yeah,
and indeed, he would come in, and obviously, yes, he went on freeze and all that, but we haven't replaced them.
We haven't, no, and we just seem to have this issue where we're stuck, even in the last 4 or 5 seasons, which has kind of cost us a little bit. We are stuck in a place where there's always been a couple of players that were always injured, either in the midfield or the attacking line. You had your Shaqiri, who was injured all the time. You had your Ox, who was injured all the time. You've had Naby Keita, who was injured all the time. And as you say, we got rid of Genie, I think it's money-wise, with his situation. And but yeah, as you said, he was never injured. I mean, there's not much more you can do about that. But in saying that, now Keita has already made his mind up that he wants to go. So now he's going to need, as Klopp said himself in his pre-match interview, if Keita goes, we'll do some business. If he doesn't go, we won't be doing business. So I'm kind of sitting here waiting, going, as much as I've liked Keita in games against United, and he's come on and done a couple of games, and he was one of my most look forward to watch players when he was first joining Liverpool. He just hasn't lived up to it, and I think if you give the likes of Takumi Minamino that little time in Liverpool, even though he's pretty much won us 2 trophies in his scoring runs, but you give Keita all that time in the world and he's barely kicked the football, then that's
is a question there, mate, and I'll ask you to chat.
Yeah.
Selling Nico, Mane, Minamino, the players that we've let go this summer, are Liverpool weaker now than where we did find ourselves 6 months ago?
Getting rid of, Mane is going to be a big loss, but we brought in Nunez. So obviously he couldn't play last night. As in weaker going forward, we shouldn't be.
As a squad overall.
As a squad overall, we kind of are, because if you look at that bench yesterday, that was just that just showed you straight away that we are. I know it's due to injury, but we are weaker at the moment than what we were last season. With that squad, because we like our youngest player that would have come off the bench last season, would have been Harvey Elliott or Curtis Jones if Harvey didn't get injured. But then you were left with Curtis Jones, which is like the one with the rookie, if you want to call him, on the bench. So now you were sitting there last night with Bajcetic and Clark and all of these people sitting on the bench against Manchester United. It's just we're too strong, and I'm not a kind of a guy that me for transfers and stuff like that. I'm not the kind of guy that says we need to just go out and buy anybody, but maybe if you've got somebody on the list and they're still waiting until next season, just buy somebody that can fill the gap this season. I know we did like Quebec and Davies there when we brought him in a couple of seasons ago. One of them didn't kick good football for us, but at least Quebec came in, played a few games. We had the youth that filled in and did the job. But we do need it, man. We need topping up. It's Ox and Keita, and all of this scenario has left us in dire straits, really.
Yeah, it's an accumulation of 3 years, 4 years. And we'll get to all your comments as well. Everyone, get your questions if you want to speak to the chat as well, and get your points across. Most importantly, everyone. 15 of you in here, really appreciate you. And if you haven't got to your comments, I will do. I will read them out as well. So want to make sure everyone's coming because it is a very important period in which we do find ourselves in. Now we're 3 games in, and obviously a lot of great shows last night after the game. I was watching everyone's shows, and you were saying obviously you can potentially get a second or third or fourth choice. And obviously everyone made a point last night and over the last couple of months and weeks. Liverpool, when they signed Salah and the players in which we have brought in, and they've seen huge success, they weren't necessarily our top targets. So it's not a matter of panicking Liverpool. It's just a matter of if we can't get our first target, money speaks. And when you look and analyse a lot of the Premier League teams, the way in which they're purchasing a lot of the top talents in like the La Liga, the Eredivisie, Serie A, the Premier League clubs, even look at Aston Villa, like and clubs down there, look at Forest. Like, I know they've got the financial backing, but the clubs down there in the Premier League, this Premier League, and I think we will see a lot more points dropped from Liverpool, City, and Chelsea and Tottenham. All top teams will be losing. I can't foresee, and I'd be very surprised if City do another 90-point season. Fair play, but I think this season, the Premier League, I feel it's not been as strong as it will be this year. And that's why a lot of teams down there in the bottom have got to be really careful because there's so much talent within the Premier League that it could get really tricky for a lot of them. But you get to Anfield Lark as well, get to Jerry's comments as well. Needing midfield, read that one, mate. But spot on. As Jerry said, this is a travesty. We are the only club that that can go inches away from a quadruple and be in this form the following season. Nice one, Jerry. Thank you very much, mate. And we'll be getting it on the channel. Obviously, I was with Jerry and the lads. It was not last week, but I think it was the week before. And obviously, if you're not aware of Jerry's channel, please do head over and support the lads anyway, doing great content. And obviously, if you want to deep dive into match results or pre-match build-up, Jerry's got obviously a lot of statistical analysis in terms of looking at the show. So great content he's making over there, mate. And I'll get you on very soon. Thank you for your comment, fella. Tom, as well, Jack, I had to watch the rubbish show in in Spain last night. There was a Scouse lad watching, so it was like there was 2 of us until they scored. This is negligence on behalf of the club as a whole. As many a fan have seen the issues in our squad, we've been blindsided because we haven't lost games, but this has been coming. And it's a great comment, obviously, the blind sides. And would you say, Connor, obviously, Jerry's made a great point that have results and recent form. No one ever asks these questions when you're on top, but it's been going on in the background. And that the fact that Jurgen Klopp, he's never done a change in terms of his management structure or the way he manages a football club. And it's the type of personality he is as well. And I was meant to have gone to a book sign today. Obviously Pep Linders, and quite rightly, it didn't turn up. Obviously the football club, by all accounts, they've had a massive meeting. I don't know nothing, but obviously I was meant to meet Pep. Obviously it was a book sign for his new book. And by all accounts, it was cancelled, and quite rightly so. It was, because the shambles that was last night. But what are your thoughts on Jerry's comment there, Con?
Yeah, a little bit. I think though, and like we've all said, haven't we? The last, when we've spoken about Gini Wijnaldum, ever since like the conversation happened when he was in the final year of his deal, we were like, oh, we need another midfielder in the door. Thiago come in and was like, oh, okay, that's for now. Gini left, and we were like, and we've said over the last 2-3 seasons, Liverpool need one midfielder, and even this summer in particular, And I was watching Red Men earlier on, and they were going on about it, and we've mentioned it on here as well, is the fact that by the end of this season, Liverpool could end up looking for 4 midfielders next year. 3 to replace the 3 that's currently, on the last years of their deals. And of course, the one that we want right now. And if
everyone's forgetting Connor as well. Thiago's gone. He's got 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah, but the problem is with Thiago, we all know now that you're getting maximum 20 games, 20 plus games. With Thiago.
We'll have the same situation that we've got with Naby at the minute, mate. We'd be in negotiating. We all know Thiago's quality, but if we give another 2 years and Thiago's played 10 games in say 2 seasons each. It's frankly not good enough. His availability.
No, well, it's the fact that as well. I think, especially with Thiago, I think Jurgen didn't expect him to be, put in the games against like Crystal Palace, for example, and so on. I think Klopp very much thought that Thiago would be a premium player in terms of like you play him in a big game, or of course you play him in a to break teams down like we have seen over the last year and so. But again, it does show for me the fact that we all know Liverpool want Jude Bellingham, but that's not a secret.
He's not the answer though, Con.
No, exactly.
Like, it's not just him. It's going to be a case of, as you said, there, it's different players, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no. If you let me pause there, it's the fact that with Bellingham, he's not the answer for now. Can't afford him, plain and simple. There must be a list of 5 or 6 players that Liverpool have that are surely available for here right now.
That's right, boys. We've got Chase Spearing in the under-21s.
Fuck off, I knew you were going to say it. But it is the fact that...
The joke, everyone, if you don't get it.
No, clip it and tag him in this after. No, but it is the fact that, people are frustrated, and they're rightfully so. And the fact that Jurgen last night, a lot of his answers were very cryptic in terms of, being asked about transfers and asking, can you bring anyone in? And he was like, oh, I'd like people that are more available and, less injured and so on. And, it's not up to me, like, for this transfers and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, he made the statement. When we're in our injury crisis, he made the statement of going, look, I need centre-halves.
48 hours ago, wasn't it? It was like 2 days before, obviously.
Yeah, like he made the statement in the press conference, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he was like, I need centre-halves. 2 days later, we go and sign centre-halves. Again, I think he's kind of said that again after the United game. Look, we need at least a midfielder in the door to, help with everything. Because he mentioned about playing, 2 in midfield. He can't do that because he doesn't have the forward line that he wants. In particular, Jota being out injured at the moment and so on. So he has to play that 3-man midfield. If he was given, an extra option either way, you don't know what could happen. But it's the fact that, the club at the moment are practically tying down Klopp's hands. He can't do anything at the moment with what he's got. And, he's trying his best, of course, and he's tried his best the last couple of years to win us, Premier League. And he's been fighting a battle with the same players year in, year out. And, quite clearly, if we mentioned it, they look knackered. And they look, of course, you mentioned Pep Lijnders' book about intensity. There was no intensity yesterday, and it was shocking. You're on mute. He's on mute.
Oh, Van Dijk, it's all right. It's all right. Don't want to interrupt Connor to get here. That'll bat me after the show. But no, he's spot on there, mate, in chat. Get your comments in and everyone. We will get to every single one of them as well, reading them out. Because I'm just going a bit slow because I want to obviously analyse everyone's comments as well. And obviously, make sure everyone's points do come across. And we will get to Virgil van Dijk if you were lip reading. I think Connor got a gist of it. But he was an absolute shambles last night. We all know when he's on his game, he's the world's best centre-half. But I was made up. And I know everyone criticised James Milner's footballing ability. What you do get with James Milner is no nonsense. He was about to deck Virgil van Dijk. I'm not asked if he's about 6 inches taller than him. Van Dijk, he needs to be told. And even in the second half as well, there was a passage of play where Van Dijk was just walking. Man United had it on the edge of the byline as well. Put the ball in, and he's just jogging. Like, come on. I'm not asked if you come second in the Ballon d'Or. You've got to be in the moment and be here. If he doesn't want to be here, like I was speaking to my dad, a lot of those players couldn't be asked being on the pitch last night, and that was their characteristics. Spider that we've criticised as Manchester United side over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. One aspect of that is if you look at Trent's body language as well, is very similar to last.
He gave up on that goal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, when he was tracked, I watched him with that goal because I mean, even though Millie was trying to watch 2 positions, which was both Trent's and Virgil's at the same time, which is why he had to go at Virgil. He decided to take on Trent's position, who was just letting him walk back, just struggling back. And he watched the player walk back. He didn't even try and get back out into the out position to block the player, like because he knew Virgil was dragged back into a position that he would have been covering, So and Joe Gomez was left out there because he tried to make the tackle. But I just don't understand how. I don't know what's going on with Trent. or whatever it is, but his attitude stinks for going back. And I said it like for the last, I don't know how long, since last season, he's constantly up in the midfield, in the attacking midfield road. And I'm just kind of going, right, is he doing that because Klopp is asking him to do it? But then he's not tracking back. He was a big all the ball. It was like when United beat us at Old Trafford 2-1 the last. I remember Rashford's 2 goals. Everything was just going over Trent's head, and they just said, "All right, he's in that humour now again." So everything was just going over his head, and that was our weak point last night. And he just didn't learn from it really.
Yeah, it's an excellent point there, mate. And obviously we've got like a little chart here. That does indicate obviously the average positional play of Liverpool's players last night, and that we're missing Bobby. I think Bobby was dropping that deep. Yeah, he's not even on this graph. He's probably off the pitch, probably behind the goal at this rate. The way in which he was dropping deep last night. But obviously this is the average position from last night. So obviously Trent, it was a great point you made there, Spider. Yeah. Predominantly when Liverpool we play our best football is down the wide areas. And as you said there's some clear indication over the last couple of weeks our fullbacks are not fully committing. But I think that's mainly due to the fact of the injuries at the back, or there's some sort of confidence. And these results were coming at the back end of the year. The only fact that we didn't lose games of football was because we had the world's greatest goalkeeper between our sticks, Alisson Becker. The amount of match-winning saves Alisson Becker made the back end of last season. Yeah, you can talk about that's the reason why we brought him in. But Christ almighty, he was doing it every single game. Yeah. Like, there's something... The fact that a team or teams, not just last season, but the previous seasons where we have drop points, where a team can just play a ball and it goes straight through our team when we're playing a number 6 or a DM or even a Henderson and Fabinho, who are your class as a bit more defensive-minded midfielders. It's quite concerning, but it's what Jurgen Klopp and the lads do, get paid millions to as Connor alluded to, and Spider and chat as well. It's an important week, a very important week, and we've got no better game to react than Bournemouth. No disrespect, and probably will bite me on the arse, but it is Bournemouth, and and thank the Lord we are playing at home, and the crowd will get behind us as well. There's going to be no hiding place for these players, especially when you are playing at Anfield. The crowd will get behind you. The fans will do the best they possibly can to get the results. At the end of the day, it's got to be down to the players as well. And we've seen that at Crystal Palace, where if something happens like we did, but we'll find out. We'll find out. Keep on getting your comments in as well, everyone. Big up, John. Big up as well. I'm just quickly going to scroll up, make sure I haven't missed anyone. So got to Red Jetty's one out. We buy a midfielder from the 2018. That's the problem. So I'm going to whiz through a couple of these as well, chat. But if there's any questions, I will answer them to the lads and obviously post them to chat as well. It's always been behind the lads, and even if they don't deserve it, the way we play, these don't deserve support. Cool opinion, that Phil. Thank you very much for your comment, mate. Hi, Jack, Paul, and the lads. Man United supporters think they have won the Champions League. Yeah, let them have the week of fun. We've been taking the mickey out of them for the best part of 10 years now, so let them have the little sing song anyway. I'm sorry to say that the team is finished together. Let's be honest about it, guys. Stop finding players. Stop finding players just to defend for the sake. Oh, no, there's no defending. We're not defending any of those players tonight. Last night, you'll find a Liverpool player on this planet that will be defending those players. But there's only so much we can say. We'll run out of not superlatives, but objectives in terms of describing these players' performances. We'll just be sounding like an absolute parrot in the background, just going the same thing week after week after week. But just put some highlights of the Roy Hodgson days on, boys. Just to remind everyone how poo we were back then. Christ. After the Twitter, people probably weren't supporting them back then anyway. We're not mentally the strongest city. 1-3 titles in 4 years of our fan base needs to be real sometimes and not overhype things as well. Yeah,
but that can go in the other direction with this result as well, Jack. Because now the fan base is overhyping the fact that we lost to Manchester United because we got a weak squad. So you can't turn around and say that we're overhyping ourselves to not win the title when we're the only people that are taking on City. And then on the other side, it's okay for them to overhype the fact that, we've got a weak squad and we just had a bad game against Manchester United. That doesn't mean the squad is finished. It just means that we're weakened. That's it. you know, and that we need some of these players need a rest. That's all it is. And like I would rest Rob, I would rest Trent. I mean, there's lads that come. There's games like Bournemouth and these places. You can bring on your what's that young lad? Costas can come on. You know, you can rest most of the lads. You could start Carvalho and Elliott, two young fellas that will run all day for you. By the way, the both of them played very well last night out of the rest of the team. They tried their arse off. Millie tried it. He was all over the pitch, even though he can't do it. You know, he tried. The mentality is there for it, you know. Luis Diaz didn't let us down, and Salah was just a bit pocketed. He was pocketed most of the night, and you know, it's only when he started moving in field that he got some joy. But like, I can't say that the team is finished when they're just tired. What a season they put up for us last season, going for a quadruple. But like as I said, normally you'd have the odd Ox or somebody like that injured. No, it's Ox, Curtis Jones, Thiago, Keita. You know, there is no midfielder. Yeah, and Fabinho looks like he looks tired. He looked tired when he came on last night, trying to stretch for balls and stuff like that. So they're all carrying strains, they're all carrying knocks, but they're still battling. You know, I'm not going to make an excuse for the shit show that was there last night, because some of them just didn't even try. But for the rest of them that did try, you know, I'll always give them props, because they did. You know, they didn't let us down. You know, there's nothing they can do about defending.
Yeah. But we've said it, all three of us and everyone as well, when we spoke about the Reds, even over the last couple of weeks. And I said, it was a couple of weeks ago, I said, Jürgen and these lads do need help. So it's up to the club hierarchy, whoever that might be, get Jürgen the funds, or get the players out that we need to. If players don't want to be at the club, get them out the door, but replace them with real quality. You're telling me the position that we are in, and we have been over the last 3-4 years, players want to come to Liverpool Football Club. They want to play in front of the Liverpool fans and be supported by our fans, millions of fans around the world. Play at Anfield, one of the most historic. The money's there at the club, and it's about time. I'm not saying spend 200-300 million pounds every season, but Jürgen Klopp, I felt sorry for him last night. Yeah. I know he gets paid, but he's going to sound like a parrot eventually. And then you've got James Milner getting sick. Christ almighty. Yes, James Milner he's 36, 37. Liverpool should not be in a position where we're playing a player that age in our midfield. But that's the harsh reality. At this moment in time, we are. And
what's his name has a big job up ahead of him, Jack. Julian Ward.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Massive, he needs to really step up now, taking over from Michael Edwards and lay a mark on this team himself, because he can't just take over from Edwards and then just do sustaining. It's on to the next step now. That midfield needs revamping. That defense needs a help from the midfield, because they're just not getting back fast enough. And you know, if we had the Fabinho from a couple of seasons ago, that weren't so tired, they were getting back and covering the two wing backs, and that's why we're seeing so many gaps now, because they're not able to do both jobs at the moment, because they're too overtired, man. They're too overtired. But Julian Ward needs to step up now and start, you know, making those phone calls and doing a couple of things to put some feeders out.
It's even the fact that we have Basuma there available for. I know Spurs got him, but you're telling me Basuma wouldn't have wanted to come to Liverpool for 25 million. 25 million for Basuma. Nothing. Pennies, pocket change that, Connor. And there is players available on this market. Yes, you might pay an extra, but that's the reality. Liverpool as a football club have left it. What? How many days we got? 8-9 days left?
9 days left.
Yeah, and we're going to be paying potentially a premium added, because if we're going to a club now going, we want that player, one of your best players, they'll be like, yeah, go on, give us an extra 50, 20, 30 million on top of what you want, because they will then have to get a player as well, won't you, miss?
Yeah, 100%. And look, if it was me, just get 100 million quid and slap her into Milan's table and go, there's Barella's money. No, I'm kidding, of course. But no, it is that, isn't it? It's the fact that now Liverpool will be paying a huge premium on everyone, because we have cornered ourselves into the corner. And you look at players that are currently available on the market. You know, I've seen plenty of people today talking about Yuri Tillemans, Jose Malwa as well. For me, I wouldn't want Yuri Tillemans. We're talking about, you know, intensity into the team. Tillemans is shite. in the midfield. There must be something wrong for teams not to go after him. I think Nottingham Forest, agreed. What was it, a £13 million
His
fee?
attitude must absolutely stink, mate.
Something must be wrong there.
Yeah.
And then you look at it on the. I know that Brighton midfielder, I can't remember his name, has been linked to us. Yeah, has been linked with us for like €50 million.
Even Mwepu, mate, at Brighton. Like when we went last season, when we watched the game, mate, he absolutely dominated our midfield in that second half. But he's an absolute brick shit house himself. It's
that thing, isn't it, where we look at it and it's like you've got like obviously the A and B category of players, but now the B category players are now the price of the A category players at this stage at the moment. And again, if there is someone out there that Liverpool have looked at and it makes sense, because this is the problem where, we all know Liverpool won't go after just a stopgap. We won't go for a season and then, we may let him go, or, you'd be, the fourth or fifth choice. It has to be in that middle three for now and in the next 3-4 years. The problem is, again, premium price. And it'll be interesting for chat as well. Like, I can't think of a player right now that is available for the right fee and what we need right now.
It's very specific, innit, Con? Like the midfielder we need. He needs to be all action. He needs to be good on the ball, good defensively minded as well as physically. There's not many players when you look around Europe. But we're just fans, potentially. But everyone obviously gets the big names out. But it's very... And the way... Unless Liverpool... Unless we somehow play a different way in the next couple of years... But as he said, the classic saying, why change something that's not broken? But I know it is broken currently. But yeah, you're spot on there, Con. And obviously, but that's why Jurgen Klopp has inspired, and you've said, mate, over the last couple of weeks in chat, Michael Edwards, get your laptop out and start searching for some players with. Salio as well, showered a poo. That was not good enough from Gary. Liverpool were utter rubbish. It's putting it kindly there, Gary. It needs to be better ASAP, 100% base. And we will be better, but at the minute, we're playing absolute dross. Yes, we've signed Sadio Mane. And don't make me start on Mane, Shane. Before I come on, it's like almost a telly, constant reminder of Sadio Mane. It was a 100 club on Sky Sports. I was like, oh, Christ, show me a hat-trick against Man City. Southampton days, anyway. Great reminder. City aren't like a saying, Jack, at all, mate. We picked up 2 points out of a possible 9 as well. Oh, yeah, no. It's the thing, no, innit? And I think Carragher and Neville said it before, Spider yesterday as well. We're living in an unparalleled universe at the minute because City can and probably will go on a 15-20 game win streak. And we could be out of sight by January or something if our results don't pick up.
Yeah, that's a very good possibility. But at the same time, I think this is going to be a weird season, man. I think there's going to be a lot of losses for all the big teams up there. I mean, just look at Leeds and Chelsea yesterday. It's like the people that were really getting hammered last season are now after gaining a lot of ground. They're after making the right signings, and Brentford looked great, and then they beat United, and then they go and lose the next game. It's a weird season, dude. And I think the top 12 teams are going to be within 12 points of each other before it even hits November. It's that kind of I think it's just that weird season. And hopefully, City is City, and obviously, you're dead right, they can run away with it and they can go on a 15-16 game win streak. But so can we on a day. And I can't see just a walk away league this season, especially with the World Cup in the middle. By the time we hit November, that's the break happening. Then we're back. What is it, January? Is it again, or something like that, or the middle of December? Middle of December. Sorry, yeah. And by that stage, you could have massive injuries, especially to the City squad, because a lot of them are going to be going away. Mo Salah's not going to a World Cup. So a lot of our more important players aren't going to World Cups. So, it's just going to be weird, man. I think this World Cup is going to play a big factor in it, and I think that. But look, as you said, let's not be too far behind them by the time that November mark comes up. Let's start winning games, put our own run together, and then worry about that. Because I don't think I'm not even going to worry about them, man, until I have to deal with them in March or something like that, and have to catch them again or something, So I worry about them.
It'd be the most Liverpool thing, Spider on and chat. get beat by United, but in a couple of weeks we'll beat City at Anfield about 4-0. It's gonna happen. Like it's gonna happen, and as we said, all us football fans are very fickle at moments as well. We're swings and roundabouts of all of our emotions, but that's the beauty of supporting the Reds or supporting just a football team anyway. You get your ups and your downs.
What it looked like to me last night, Jack, was that Manchester United team looked like our worst Liverpool team when we beat Manchester United, and they were like the best team around because they just looked a bit lackluster on the ball. They looked a bit tired and overdone. That was their ultimate point of the season. That's all they're going to get for the season, and that's the way we felt back in the day for the longest period.
When we beat them 4-1 at Old Trafford, mate, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like when we
it.
Obviously we're under Rafa, but we were like, at that time United were superb, were phenomenal in terms of winning the league titles. So everyone can beat everyone. And, but Josh is saying seems like Liverpool just lacked intensity. We're lethargic. The mix up in the squad competition definitely played well for United. Martinez was a little demon. Yeah, shout out to him as well. Just wish Virgil van Dijk, and that's what you think, innit? You've got him bossing about, and even Virgil's attitude. And what I didn't like, chat, I don't know if you picked up on it watching the game last night. Joe, when there was like a little bit of argy-bargy, you'd expect one of our Liverpool players to jump in and start. That's what Ibu Konate done so well last season, Connor, wasn't it? In terms of just manhandling Bruno Fernandes, just getting him and just bouncing him off his chest.
No.
Even that was lacking last night.
Turn him into a little parcel and send him on his way. Again, though, it was the whole attitude last night with Virgil. And even when Milner's having a go at him, he just looks disinterested. Like he doesn't.
He's not even looking at him in the eyes, mate. Joe, when someone's like talking to you, it's about eye contact. Virgil was like looking everywhere apart from Milner's eyes.
I don't say that to Thomas Tuchel. Like you'll end up trying to rag you. But no, it is that though, and it's whether or not, and it's rare to see Virgil like this. The last time I can think of him, having a subpar game was probably Leicester away last year when we lost 1-0. But it's the fact that we're speaking and we've spoken about it in tonight's show. But apart from, I'd probably say Joe Gomez, I don't think you can blame too much last night, and Ali. Ali has saved us so many times. The rest of, from the back five, defensive midfielder and defense, the rest of it, we are massively critiquing. And it's the fact that, and I've seen on social media today, the debate whether or not Costas should be given an opportunity. Of course, he should be given an opportunity.
I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks now, mate. And as
Robbo looks tired, man.
Yeah,
he does look tired. But it's the fact
what
that
has Costas got to do? Is Robbo got like pictures of Klopp or something in the background? We don't know. He's got something on like some of these players, man. Yeah, go ahead, Cod, say that.
No, it's the fact that it's like I think there is probably a system change needed at the moment to at least with the players that we have out injured. Because you think about it, this week coming back, we've got. I think Jota's going to be back in light training, and then you've got Joel Matip probably back in full training. Does that mean, as Spider said earlier on, do we rest Trent and allow Gomez on the right and Costas on the left potentially for Bournemouth, and to kind of give Trent and the rest of them a realization of look, you're not undroppable at this. Look, you have to go back to basics, and you have to work yourself back up. But it's annoying where you've got as well the fact that with Costas, as you've mentioned as well, it's the fact that every time he's played for Liverpool, he's been brilliant in a Liverpool shirt. I can't think of a bad game he's had in a Liverpool shirt.
But people were criticising him against Palace. I'm like, mate, we were down to 10 men. It's like he had to cover 2 areas of the pitch. A lot of those players did. But yeah, no, he's spot on there, Con, and that brings a perfect point as well, what Shane said here. And we could talk about Trent, and I don't think any of us now come back against any rival fans saying defensively Trent. And you mentioned this, Spider, and we probably could do it a whole bloody 2 hours talking about Trent.
Yeah.
Someone needs to get him and just start defending, like coaching him. He's a right back. I know he's good going forward, but he's a right back. And I know Liverpool, the way we play our system, he needs to get better at defensive. Like his defensive understanding needs to be a lot better. like as good. And I'm not buying into this notion of, oh, he's so good going forward, which he is. He's the best right back in world football going forward, but defensively, he's absolute shambles, mate.
But he's always had a weakness defensively, especially with
Yeah.
balls over the top and being caught out of position because he's so far forward. But I've been saying it for ages as well. Like, you know me since last season, man. About 6-7 months, most of the way through last season, I've been saying that he's been playing in that midfield place non-stop. He's showing Klopp that's what he wants to be. His mindset is bored of going back there. It's just, well, it looks like it looks a bit petulant on his behalf by not getting back and staying in his position. And if he wants that, either Klopp pull him out and stick Gomez in there, or what's that other young fella that impressed there in pre-season and give him a chance because he's a better defender. Let's cause like he was in better positions than what Trent was.
Mabea, was he?
Mabea, that's what it is.
I think he's another converted midfielder.
Yeah, they could be the same, but I mean that's exactly what you said there. Like Trent is a midfielder. So why, if we're weak in the midfield, why not just play defenders in the defence? Whether it is Gomez and right back, why do you have to stick Millie in there for a couple of games? Because Millie plays right back very well because he doesn't have to get too far forward when he plays right back. But because if you're going to play Millie anywhere, play him in a place where he doesn't have to do that much running, you know, which is basically just track back and stay in line with the defence, and that's it. And play bloody Trent on that right hand side of the midfield. Give Hendo a rest for Christ's sake, because the dude he really does look like he's knackered. I mean, that stretch to get that ball that led to that goal last night as well, you know, it's just tiredness, tired legs, tired everything, tired mindset. Yeah. Just give him a rest.
We've all seen, spot on there, mate, and chat. Yeah. We all know what Trent's good at. If he gets that bit 5-10 bits of space, he'll ping a 60-yard ball across the pitch and probably play Salah in over the top. We know what he's done. So, obviously, statistically, I don't know, probably stats and data and all that. I haven't got them in front of me, but obviously, Trent, in midfield, it's the most important bit of the pitch. Obviously, that and goalkeeper in terms, obviously, the combating and the ebb and flow. If you're not on it in midfield, regardless, even playing Sunday League or whatnot, you need strong midfielders. But it's difficult. There's a whole conundrum of ideas going through our heads that we can speak about. But we will get to Virgil van Dijk in a little second. But keep on getting your comments in as well. I have seen Doug's super chat. Thank you very much, mate. I'll quickly get to that right through everyone's comments so we're not missing anyone's. This needs to be a massive wake-up call, everyone at the club. And if 2 or 3 have lost their hunger, then they may as well write the season off and their ones need in and out as well. Nice one, Alan, for tuning in. Naby, Oxmill and Bobby should have been sold this summer with fresh legs coming in. I am worried if we lose a few more games, this is the manner Klopp will walk away. He did at Dortmund as well. And we've already alluded to it, Alan, haven't we already, us three? We all love Jurgen Klopp, but if Jurgen Klopp is not getting what he wants, if he's not getting the funding or the backing, he'd probably come out. He's not a miracle worker. He's a football manager at the end of the day. He tries to do his best for the football club. And if he's not getting the players, then I wouldn't put it past him walking, mate. If the club aren't willing to back him, it's an absolute joke. The best manager, especially in mine and Connor's lifetime at Liverpool Football Club, and he's not getting backed. And we all know, we've all been saying it for the last couple of weeks, even years as well, certain sections. He needs backing in the right areas. Klopp must sign a midfielder, sign a Prem midfielder, and someone who knows the league, 100% as well. Yes, and we'll get on to Virgil, mate, because he's not above criticism anyway. One loves Bobby, but why is he? Gary, I'll quickly bring up that chart anyway. The average positioning for Liverpool's players. Where is it, Gary? Get rid of your comment for a sec. There we go. Bobby was that deep last night. He's not even on the chart. On who scores anyway. Big up Ricky as well. As last year, it was Klopp on a podcast, and Henderson's legs were gone. He was gone on one more years out, but he is finished at a top team. I'd agree with it, and I think a lot of you would. How you doing, Rich? Congratulations on the win, mate. Absolutely battered us last night. First time our lads have actually turned up, and I think you'll be buzzing, mate. But Trent and Virgil van Dijk already had their slippers on for a nice cup of cocoa. Yeah, this bloody hell. But quickly, I'm trying to make sure I've got everyone's comments of Bobby. But you'll tell me, Gary. I'll tell you what. Bobby, we all know Bobby plays his best when he's in rhythm. When he's had a couple of games in the tank. But we knew exactly the performance that we were going to be getting last night as well. But duck on Virgil van Dijk. No comment.
Shite.
What did you think of him last night?
Shite. Exactly that. Up there, one of the worst. Well, probably up there for his worst Liverpool performance ever. I think, and we've already mentioned it, haven't we? The fact that he didn't. Anthony will be burning his ears out with that. But yeah, I think that we've all spoken about Virgil's attitude. It's rare that he has these types of games, but you look at. We've spoken about, of course, mentally, and obviously the Champions League final, and we all know with Valverde's cross and Virgil, lacking back a bit. But I think as well, the big thing for me with Virgil, he looks too relaxed all the time. Like the sprinting, Spider mentioned it, where I think even when Rashford's in one of the times, and obviously I think Virgil goes to sprint, and Joe Gomez beats him to the sprint to catch back, and I'm like, Joe Gomez shouldn't have to do that. If it's on your side, and of course he has to cover him rightfully, and then I think he did. I think he made a big block, but Virgil just looked not there. Like if he didn't want to be there yesterday, and it is weird. And you hope that it's not going to be, because I think he spoke about this on the Rio Ferdinand show or whatever they do on BT. And he said, he plays a lot of the game in his own mind and tries to predict where players go. Sometimes that's obviously you can do that, but against very pacey forwards like Marcus Rashford, Wilfred Zaha, you can't do that. Sometimes you have to play the game as it is and not predict where they're going to go. And so
Virgil's getting Cruyff taken by Mitrovic first week into the season, mate, in the box.
Yeah. But you look at it, that's the first. I think even that's the first. I think error to a goal Virgil's conceded. I think since Fulham back in 2018, which again it's rare for Virgil van Dijk, and I hope obviously this isn't a downward spiral for Virgil over a consistent period of time. But again, you look at it next week now, he might have a man of the match performance against Bournemouth. You don't know. And you hope that he can go back to the level of being the best in the world, because he is the best in the world when he's at his normal level. But it's just a little bit concerning where he's not sprinting for the ball; he's too relaxed, and if it gets past me, the guy next to me will cover it. Like no, if it's your problem, you have to fix it, and that's the big concern for me.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Inspired, as Cons alluded to, and chat already as well, like he's mentioned. I was watching I was on the watch along last night, and I was speaking to a lot of people in chat as well. When you've got Alisson Becker, who, and we've mentioned him, and when Ali can't back Bale is out of the game, you've got Ali kicking the ball to Harvey Elliott. And it's not Alisson's fault that it's, as Cons alluded to, Van Dijk's making rash decisions that he never normally does. You got Robbo making rash decisions, got Alisson Becker making rash decisions, and obviously the centre back area is a massive issue. I think a lot of us let me know, who you put your two starting centre backs for this season prior to all the injuries. Who would have you have started in the Premier League? Because obviously I think a massive indication for the Champions League final that we've just had against Real Madrid, Ibu Konaté was an absolute ridiculous. He was an absolute joke how good he was. Yeah. That was probably one of the best centre-back performances I've seen in Champions League final for a very long time. Yeah. And for a lad at such a young age, potentially. And obviously we just gave Gomez a new contract as well. So do you think the rotation in the centre-back areas have probably caused this? Not obviously, it's not the main cause, and we all know the issues that we've already discussed tonight, mate, but that's one of the many issues off the back of recent results.
Like one of the first things that gave me a worry last night was how far apart the centre-backs were from each other from the beginning of the get-go of the game.
Very disjointed, the back line as well, wasn't it?
So they were so far apart from each other that when one moved over, the other one didn't follow, and it was the same the other way around. And that wasn't typical of Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk about 3 seasons ago when they did play together a lot. But what I noticed is that one didn't follow the other last night, and it was just a lot of walking, a lot of drifting. Now, in fairness, Joe didn't have a bad game. I thought he played okay, to be honest with you. And I just thought, positional wise, he could have done a bit better, getting a bit closer to Virg, so you didn't get those A lot of those balls that were going through the middle last night. I mean, if Man United were more on target with some of because the line of the passes that were given was through on goal nearly every single time. So the gap was massive. My two starters for me are Kanate and Van Dijk, obviously. I think they're the two guys that you're going to get going forward. And I don't think it'd be very rare for me to. No, I can't see Virgil having as bad a game as he did last night again for Liverpool. I think it is that the team is either too overtired, too comfortable, and I don't think that that's the problem when players get too comfortable and they're in that role and they know that they're as you said, that they're unchangeable or are untouchable. Then that's when they get a bit complacent and you see the mistakes.
So who's your centre backs, mate? Who's it for this season?
Oh, Kanate and VVD for me.
Spot on
there. Virgil and Ibu for me. Said after the Champions League final, that's our best centre back partnership.
Yeah, I would have went with that as well, Chat. I guess why obviously centre back pairings as well. Leave them in. Obviously, we've seen that. Obviously, the rotation was quite well, but I think ideally, as you've said there, boys, spot on. Bloody hell, Doug. I'll quickly get to that, mate. But obviously, Ali. Hello, everyone. Liverpool's problem is injuries. We need to loan some players as well. Common sense. For me, I would drop Trent and Robbo. They've been good enough since the end of last season as well. Who for, Ravi? This moment in time. Who for? Me and Connor, both playing left back and right back. At this rate, we've got no players to come in apart from obviously Costas down that left. Unless you bring in Joe Gomez, put him right back. And then obviously bring Matip back once he's fully fit. But we've got no players to replace them with. I do. And Nathan, thank you for tuning in, mate. Robbo was about 200 miles on the clock. The numbers back it up as well. 100% there, Brian. He needs a rest. But nice one. Thank you very much for that, Doug, as well. Really do appreciate your super chat and the support, mate. Appreciate it. While that was rubbish, shows that what it was last night. We missed the defensive stability of Henderson on the right-hand side to cover Trent. Trent's second best all over in the pitch last night. We badly need a midfielder as well. It's a thing, mate. 100% agree with it. If we had to be in me to trying to take the ball of Bruno, then we scored, they would still be cutting him out of the net. Yeah, I was going to say. And that comes to a point that I mentioned and the lads have mentioned tonight. There was no attitude or bite. Like, regardless of how bad you play, there needs to be a bit of attitude within that squad. And no one, apart from Milner, was willing to put their lives on the line for Liverpool Football Club. It was too passive. Oh, we'll let you that and all that. Regardless if you're playing rubbish, at least stand up. We had like a little hobbit in the Manchester United defence last night, trying to bully Salah. It's like Salah just laughed at him anyway, did he? And he's going to be absolutely atrocious. He's had one good game against us. And we had been more. We was trying to take the role. Yeah, read that one. Letting Morton go was silly. Oh, so they know, Gary, if we dropped Morton in that midfield last night, he would have been absolutely crucified by everyone on Twitter and social media. And then he would have been getting a lot of the blame. But in reality, how old's the lad? 18, 19 years old. There's bigger issues as well. Spot out there, Rob, as well. How far this off is Ramsey? That's the big aspect, innit? It's Brian. All three of us know, and none of us in chat. And that's the concerning thing there. Spad, have you had a little look?
Yeah, I've been looking up and down. There's nothing going on with. There's no news from Ramsey. I've tried every website and everything. No, they just said there was anything that could kind of. It was supposed to be like a 6 to 8 week thing, but it was just something that was picked up in his medical when they did it. So.
Another injured Liverpool that we signed.
It's not even saying what the injury was. I can't see it here right now.
It's the thing, mate, as well. And chat. I think something was it Con that we knew done a show a couple of weeks ago. We were all under the influence as well. Chat that Jota was 2 weeks away. Then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks pass, and he's nowhere near to be seen.
The big problem is with Jota though, and it's a worry. The fact the injury that he suffered, it was a reoccurring injury, wasn't it? So again, you have to worry about that. But I'm just looking now, and supposedly it was a knee injury for not Nico Williams, sorry, for Calvin Ramsey, but nothing else on it. No time scale, no nothing. it's actually that. Like, I'm looking at the list now, and it's got just everyone, of course, Jota hamstring and so on and that. But you just look at it and you're like, Jesus Christ, how depressing is it looking at the Liverpool injury list? It's not nice to look at.
Yeah, I've been sitting there looking at the midfielders that are available as well, that could be available and who are available. And we were looking at it earlier because I've got a line of them lined up here, but it's just
the bottom of the barrel, though, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Like, we are it's like when we got Kabak, he was abysmal. Like, no disrespect to the lad, but he done his job when he come in. But it's the Liverpool Football Club. We should be expecting the creme de la creme, the top tier in world football. And yet again, just not quite. But we don't be sounding like parrots. Every single one of us know exactly what the issues are. But the thing with Trent is when you were winning and dominating games, those little defensive lapses don't matter. 100% there, Brian. When we're playing badly, it gets highlighted. Not just him; it's a whole team. 100% there, Brian. Agree. That's all right, Alan. Christ, you all know my spelling's absolutely atrocious, especially on some of the thumbnails anyway, on the titles and everything. But no worries, mate. I think Virgil's playing like he doesn't want to get injured for the World Cup. A lot of those players will be, Doug, and it will be not just Liverpool players, but I think you will see that couple of 5-6 weeks prior to the World Cup when it starts. You'll be seeing players left, right, and centre probably fading injury as well. It's quite sad, really, but especially when the paying club is paying the wages, but it's an old another bloody show in itself. Virgil van Dijk, the most worrying. Obviously, this must be the Virgil van Dijk comments as well when we discussed it. Virgil van Dijk's most worrying for me looks like he's been saving himself. Yeah, obviously alluding to what Doug said there as well. And obviously, yeah, you alluded to that before, Connor, didn't you? Sutton, similar with Fabinho, we don't know what it is. We're not a fly in the wall, really, and we're not courtesy to everything that. There could be a lot of things going on in the background that us fans don't know, and hopefully everything is all right, not just for Fabinho, but for everything behind the scenes. But hopefully everything does turn around, and I've got full confidence it will. We'll always be a Liverpool fan, Vera, 100%, mate. Hope you're having a good day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a lot of interaction as well. Keep on getting your comments in. I will be live with the 1892 Reds tonight. I know, Connor, you are live at 9 p.m, aren't you, mate, as well? Yeah, so please.
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I am.
I think you are, yeah. Yeah, of course you know. I don't think of that. But make sure you do head over to support. Obviously, Connor Spider will be live tonight as well on his gaming. I get the lads to plug all the content and everything. Quickly rattle through these comments. We could go another 2-3 hours as well, but most importantly, really appreciate you all tuning in. I know. Absolute bloody legends. We'll get into all your comments as well. Got any questions for chat as well, or the lads on the panel as well? Get them in, and we'll quickly rattle through them. But there'll be a lot of more content coming throughout the week. Obviously, there's probably aspects that we haven't mentioned tonight, so don't stress, everyone. We will talk about it, and we're always here. One big family anyway, Reds, as well. Appreciate your support. Obviously, Brian, I did ask chat before who would be your starting two for the Premier League this season or this league season in the centre-back areas, and Brian's come with Virgil van Dijk, Canate. Are you doing Eamons as well? Thank you very much for tuning in. Joel Matip missed big time, 100%. Canate, Van Dijk. Ibu is an absolute monster. He is, mate. Love our team and our boss, Pauline. Thank you very much for tuning in as well. We all love Egan. Hopefully Egan just gets that bit of help from the football club in terms of getting players in. And we've all said one of the most difficult things, would you say, Connor, like it always has been, is getting players out the door. Especially when we've seen, obviously, that time when Jurgen did take over. We had absolute piles of dross in the team, but they were on big wages. And that's going to be the difficult moments at the minute. Some of these players that we kind of want to move on, but we can't. They're on big wages.
Well, that, and is there any value in getting rid of them? No. When we spoke about it on, I think me and you spoke about it on an earlier show this season about, Ox, for example. I think West Ham were lurking around about him. Talks of £7 million bid, so on. Then gets injured in pre-season, and then that's gone. Any chance of selling him. So, and yeah, it's at the moment Liverpool are in a real crossroads at the minute where either we have players leaving for free in 12 months' time, or we have players that are not marketably sellable, so they won't make, it's better to keep them then instead of selling them for, coppers then in today's market. Or we have the players that are the first team players and that are untouchable in certain aspects. And it's a real, eye opener at the minute, where do Liverpool get, finance from at the minute? And especially, like we talked about earlier on, if those three midfielders go for all free next year, it's a real worry for Liverpool. Of course, we'll probably speak about it more in the next couple of weeks and months ahead, but it's going to be a real worry, I think, especially for Julian Ward as well. He's already had a decent first summer in after taking over from Michael Edwards, but this next 6 to 12 months is going to be huge for him.
Yeah. 100% there, mate. Spad, are you looking at something there, lad? Or?
Yeah, I've been looking at things there. I've been looking at players that are available, players that we can come in, players that for clubs that would possibly play a higher wage, but also you could get a knockoff price from players if one went one way and one went the other way. The only ones I'm kind of looking at that are kind of available, that Liverpool probably already know these guys, but he's only a young fella, but he's highly rated and he's at an 84% all round, and that's Florian Wirtz from Bayern Leverkusen. He's a midfielder, an attacking midfielder. You could have an Naby Keita go the other way and that kind of thing, and then the money's there. But he is worth about 64.2 million after he was only bought for 200,000 by Bayer Leverkusen about 2.5-3 seasons ago. He's one that's available. Obviously, Borrelia is there. Kessie just moved. Frankie de Jong doesn't want to leave Barcelona for anybody for some reason, There's only a handful. Leon Goretzka, would he leave Bayern? We could have done that deal with Mane, so it's obvious we're not in for. We wouldn't be going for him unless we were kind of unless he's just.
Bayern is still salty that we got Thiago for the price we did.
Yeah, I think so. There doesn't seem to be much of anything going on here, man. There's Sabitzer, but he's tough. He's getting good play in Bayern. There's nobody really, dude.
It's about spot on there, mate.
Souček maybe from West Ham.
Yeah. As we've said, and we've been on the same topic all for the last couple of weeks as well, Overs. It's about time we actually started acting like a big club in the market.
Yeah.
We are a big club. The money's there. Get Jurgen Klopp on the phone. Get Steven Gerrard if it's a young English player. I know he's a manager of Aston Villa, but just get Stevie to ring up and be like, yeah, fella, want to join? Yeah, we'll give you the £20 million move, and then we'll get Stevie to do a cheeky FaceTime as well. Throw that in. Or is it do a Vimeo call or something? Happy birthday message off Stevie if you want. But yeah, Liverpool need to start acting like a big club.
Yeah.
And just put the money on the table as well, because back Jurgen Klopp and give him the best tools to actually do his job properly. Even regardless of if we have got injuries, which we have, but we hindsight, we should have seen this, as Chat's already alluded to at the top of the show, and obviously everyone spot on with your comments. This has been coming for like the best part of 3-4 seasons. We've known our injury crisis and obviously the players in which we've lost. And a lot of talk has been with obviously Sadio Mane. Everyone knew from the football club that Mane was going, was it 6-12 months prior? And Liverpool were like, go on, give us an extra 6 months and we'll let you go. And then big up Alan as well. I agree about Milner, but the midfield was always going to be a major issue when Thiago wasn't fit to play. Obviously, shout out Shay's comments as well. Milner can't be starting important games anymore. He can do a job with 10 to 20 minutes to go in a game, but can't really rely on him to start games in midfield now. And a major issue for it. And it's the thing, Shane, and I think all of us agree with you, but now Milner is getting the large brunt of the stick, and it's not Milner's fault.
It is Klopp depends on him so much when he's in that midfield because of the work rate that he puts in, So it's not his fault that he's staying on longer than most other players. It's just that he's probably doing. If he was kept on so long that he was last night, that means that Henderson and weren't up to scratch, in comparison. So who else are you going to bring on? Like a tired Fabinho? He came on and he looked knackered when he came on last night.
Yeah. That bench was an absolute disgrace, and we all seen it before kickoff. That we'll probably do another show on that really to throughout the week. That bench, no disrespect to the young lads, but that was a disgrace, regardless of the injuries in which you have. You wouldn't even find that bench on a League Two bench or something.
I'll be honest with you, Jack. I cannot see us going this window without signing a midfielder. It makes no sense to me. I think we all get kind of a bit over worried about what Klopp's going to do and stuff like that. And I know that they're trying to find the best outcome for Navigator and the likes of that. But no matter what, I cannot see us going without buying another midfielder this window. Klopp says we need it. He's already said it in the pre-interview. If Keita goes, we're going to need it. But he says he needs a midfielder anyway. So I can't see us going without buying one. It has to happen, I think, in this window.
Yeah. Klopp's like us. He's going to be pulling his hair out, and he'll be the first person to be absolutely... Especially he knows these players are capable of putting in performances, but the last 3 weeks... Well, the last couple of weeks in the Premier League have frankly not been good enough. But we'll get to Jay's comments as well. Got any questions or answers, make sure you are liking the stream as well. I will be live in 10 minutes, but with the 1892 Reds podcast, so head over to me and Ricky. Connor, are you on with me? Or
no, I'm on with Doug.
Are you on with Doug? Oh, sound. So head over, support everyone's shows as well. Get to Jay's comments and rattle through the last couple of ones as well. Jay Station, we can't play proper football without Thiago, who's injury prone, and the performance of how we've done recently. Something is really wrong. It's really wrong. He's 30 plus, needs to line up to our next. He's 30 plus, needs to line up our next Thiago somehow. Obviously, and that's all about replacing him with the younger Thiago, innit? There is players like Ox Keita who we can all agree and I'd happily get rid, but those players would be vital right now. The bench against United wasn't a Premier League title contender bench, in my opinion. 100% AJ, just alluding to what everyone's been saying. Neuhaus, but he's also recently injured. It's the Liverpool case. It's the witches. Bowen, I don't think Gary, great player, but I don't think Bowen can play central midfield at the minute, right? Unless you stick Bowen on the right wing or sort of, or like right back and then play central midfield. Christ, no. How we're in this situation is beyond belief. Day one must be known last year, so why haven't they plans ahead? I wish I knew Panov, and that's literally hit the nail on the head. What we've all been discussing tonight, mate, and what views have all been saying. FSG, get your checkbooks out as well. 100% there, Alan. We're all on the same understanding. Let's not pretend that Ox, Naby, and Jones were fit. They would play. They're not good enough, Brian. 100%. Last couple of comments as well. They're not up to the unreal standards as I would love to have them in our team, but I don't think that we're in a position to sell either, even as a bench impact. There'll be a big improvement in what we all have now as well. So I think they wouldn't even get into Manchester City. I don't think they'd get into a couple of teams outside the top four. Not playing with Milner. He was just the best midfield in the first half last night. And even the Fulham game, when he come on, he changed the game when he come on. And that says a lot when you've got Milner and Elliott coming on against Fulham and having the impact. FSG will sell up when the Annie Road stand is finished. That's my feeling. Hopefully, Eamons. The January market will be weird. World Cup ending before it opens. So is that the case, Brian? But the final comments here. Big up Jack, Spider, Connor. We will win the next 5 and it'll be back on. Yes, Ricky. There we go.
That's what you want. That's a comment to finish on like that.
Yeah, comment to finish on, Ricky. That's it. Up the effing Reds go. Come on. That's the positivity we love as well. But and you all know me. I'm trying to be as positive, but I'm not going to sit here and go, that was a great performance. But it wasn't. It was absolutely diabolical. But as the title does say, let's get behind our lads. No better team to play against Bournemouth. These lads, massive kick up the backside, hopefully slapping a couple of goals against Bournemouth. It's easier saying it than doing it, but we'll find out come at the weekend at 3 p.m. kickoff. But Connor, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Just shout out to your channel and what shows you'll be coming on tonight, mate. And obviously what you've got coming up.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It's practically going to be a massive whinge later on again at 9 o'clock on the Cop Ground.
We all love a good whinge anyway.
No, it's going to be more less emotional from last night, I think, anyway. But no, we're going to be taking a look at, should Liverpool be concerned about the poor start, and of course we'll have a little look about midfielders and so on. Of course, going to do a midfielder look probably tomorrow. And then, of course, probably Bournemouth stuff then towards the end of the week as well. But yeah, thanks for having us on. And hopefully next week's a better week instead of this week.
Yeah, no, but thank you very much for coming on, mate. And obviously, Spider. We'll be getting Spider and Connor out on a lot more and a lot more guests as well on the channel. I much prefer doing the more panels and obviously the interaction from chat tonight. You're absolute bloody legends as well. And I really do apologise if you have missed your comments. I've not done it intentionally. There was that many comments, which is fantastic. You were the most important aspect of this, the fan interaction, the fans around the world as well. It's why I created my channel all those years ago, just to speak about it, Eds. Win, lose, or draw, we discuss and debate and obviously agree to disagree with everyone's points. But as I said, absolute legends. And thank you once again for everyone for tuning in, everyone that has tuned in anyway. But Spider, shout out your channel, mate, and obviously what content you've got coming up this week.
All right, lads. Yeah, I've got a watch along happening for the Bournemouth game, obviously, this weekend. And then later on tonight on Irish Spider Guy on Twitch. It's just going to be a bunch of Irish lads screaming at each other while playing FIFA Pro Clubs. So that should be fun. Followed by a bit of PUBG after that. So that should be fun in a while. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, nice one, laugh for coming on. Appreciate
No
it.
problem, man.
And chat. Yeah. And obviously shout out Brian as well, Avens, every single one. Is a massive thank you to Doug as well, if he's still in here, mate. Obviously for the super chat. Absolute bloody legends. But chat, we can all breathe, sigh of relief as well. But hopefully, lucky enough, we've got another. Well, I'd say lucky enough. Zuki, there you go, lads. I think you've been in work, but thank you very much for tuning in, mate. You can rewind this anyway, mate. But thank you to Big Up as well. Big up to everyone, most importantly, that is tuned in. Or if you are watching on the repeat, hit that subscribe button down below. All of our social links are in the description if you listen. All these videos, apart from the video watch-alongs, I know a lot of you do work, or if you're driving or whatnot, and you like to listen to like podcasts and that, or this whole hour and 10-minute show will be on Spotify very soon. So if you want to listen to that, so obviously instead of watching it, all the videos will be going on Spotify and obviously Apple Music as well. The link to the Spotify and everything is in the description. So click there, drop us a follow on obviously Anfield Road TV on Spotify, and you can listen to all the great content coming your way as well. But massive thank you once again, everyone. And as I said, there's going to be no intro. There's going to be no outro. It's a classic, especially after that diabolical performance. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Reds.